This Tigers and Twins series on Fox Sports North is presented by the all-new Chrysler 200. It's America's import. Downtown Minneapolis on a Friday night, it's buzzing. Twins and Tigers, game number 2 of a 4-game set that will take us into the All-Star break. The Tigers got game number 1 last night in a 4-2 victory headed by David Price. Brian Dozier just fell short this afternoon with the Vote Dozier campaign. It wrapped up late in the afternoon. Mike Moustakas of the Kansas City Royals will represent the American League. Per that fan vote, Brian Dozier just on the Jumbotron thanking the fans for all the great support. What a season he is having for the Minnesota Twins. Intriguing matchup on the mound tonight features Justin Verlander for the visitors. Yet to win this season, but he's won 10 of his last 11 decisions against the Minnesota Twins, and it's the home debut for Ervin Santana off an 8-inning performance at Kansas City where he gave up just 2 runs. He's 8-3 in his career against the Detroit Tigers. Welcome inside Target Field, a perfect summer night for baseball. Warm, sultry conditions, and the Twins look to get some revenge against the Tigers tonight. So many question marks last time out for Ervin Santana, midway through the season making his debut. One of those questions was the chemistry with the catcher, Kurt Suzuki, but as we hear from the catcher this afternoon, it was smooth sailing.
I faced Ervin quite a bit, in my career, and I kind of have an idea of what he likes to do, and just kind of, he's a guy that he just kind of goes goes along with you, and he's all about executing pitches, which makes your job a lot easier. And when you got plus pitches, every pitch that you have is above average, makes it a lot easier.
Well, the matchup on the mound is intriguing, but we have to go inside the numbers. Dick Raymer, Bert Blyleven break down who has the edge. Verlander v. Ervin Santana next.
Improvement needs by Budweiser. Make a plan to make it home. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Budweiser, make a plan to make it home. By Luther Nissan Kia, 2 locations, 1 very low price. And by Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. Very much summertime weather here at Target Field. Game 2 of a 4-game series between the third-place Tigers, the second-place Twins. Neither team has gotten a win from these frontline starters. Justin Verlander has been hurt. Irvin Santana was suspended, and they'll square off against each other here tonight in Game 2. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick and Bert with you as the Twins hope to rebound from a disappointing loss. And the Tigers are hoping that they can leapfrog past the Twins, past the Royals, if they can get Justin Verlander back on his game.
Yeah, Justin Verlander, for the first time this year, started the season on a disabled list. First time he's ever been on a disabled list. And you see where he was from 2009 to 2012. Probably the best pitcher in baseball. He won the Cy Young and the MVP award for the Tigers in 2011. Yeah, maybe last couple years haven't been Justin Verlander-like, but still 28 wins, and the Detroit Tigers would like to have some of those wins this year.
And the Twins signed Irvin Santana for games like this to give the Twins a better chance in a pitching matchup against Justin Verlander or pitchers of his type. And Irvin Santana will get the start for the Twins.
Well, if he can pitch like he did last Sunday in Kansas City, the Twins would take that in his first Twins appearance. Now, he has had very good success here at Target Field, and we'll go over that. So he'll be making his Target Day debut as a Minnesota Twin.
Santana with a great debut for the Twins. He'll be squaring off against one of the best in the business as the Twins hope to even the series at a game apiece. Santana finally making his Target Field debut. Taking the mound for Game 2 of this series. Brad Ausmus hoping that the Tigers can get past the Twins and then start working on the Royals a little bit. Twins won the season series last year, but this season series has gone very heavily in Detroit's favor. Here's the Menards batting order for Detroit. Ian Kinsler, followed by Yoenis Cespedes, Victor Martinez, J.D. Martinez, Alex Avila, Nick Castellanos, Mark Krause, Anthony Goes, and who would have thought that going to the All-Star game this year from the Tigers J.D. Martinez and Jose Iglesias.
And Irvin Santana on the mound, making his second start. He has had success against the Tigers. This is his 14th career start. And you go back to April of 2008 to September 14th of 2013. In 9 starts, his last 9 starts against the Tigers, 6-1 with a 2.08 ERA. Now, a lot of these guys weren't around when Santana came up. Both these starters here today started their career in 2005, Santana and Verlander.
Kinsler leading things off, started the ball game last night with a second pitch home run. Goes after the first pitch and pops it up behind third. Santana underneath it. One very quick out. And that'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Eddie Rosario is in left. Aaron Hicks is in center. Torrey Hunter in right. Luke Santana, Dozier, Bauer, the infielder, Suzuki behind the plate.
Always nice to get that first guy out, especially a guy like Kinsler. Last night's home run, his 32nd time in his career. He's led off a ball game for his team with a home run. Ricky Henderson, the all-time home run leader in first at-bats, start off a game with 81. Still, that's a lot. 32 leadoff home runs.
Cespedes takes up and in ball one. Cespedes on the final player ballot. He, like Brian Dozier.
You know, there's always a couple of guys, 3-4 guys that you look at, and Brian Dozier being one of them. Boy, they should be in the All-Star game. And you could look at Cespedes right here.
Yeah.
He has very, very good numbers and deserving to maybe be in Cincinnati.
Lazy fly to center, and Hicks puts that away, 2 down. I was surprised, as we said last night, that when Alex Gordon had his horrific injury a couple of nights ago, that it wasn't Cespedes who was added to the All-Star team in Gordon's place.
Well, like Brian Dozier said, okay, let's move on. You know, the opportunity's there. He thanked everybody for all their support, and now let's move on and play some baseball.
And that's the thing in all 5 cities, you know, to get the fan base behind the player of candidacy has got to make the player feel awesome.
Yeah,
and a strike on
whether you go in or not.
Right. I mean, what a great consolation prize. It happened here in Minnesota. It happened in Boston for Xander Bogaerts. Brett Gardner going to the All-Star game, but all of them in the National League as well. That's not a bad consolation prize.
And congratulations to Mike Moustakas. You know, they're probably going to charter a plane to Cincinnati.
1-1 to Victor Martinez. And bounced foul. Martinez continuing to hit much better as a right-handed batter than left-handed batter. You can see the Twins have pitched him very well, but when the Twins have faced him earlier in the year, his left knee was really messed up. Now he's had a little opportunity to let things heal, but ultimately, you know, what the Tigers want is more balance to make him a true switch hitter. Still hitting just .211 from the left side of the plate.
He's had some good numbers against Santana over their meetings. 8 hits in 22 at bats with a home run. And what we saw from Irvin Santana in Kansas City, if he throws a pitch straight, everything has movement. That's the slider right there. Good changeup, fastball. He'll throw the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. This is the breaking ball. Good location. That's where Pelfrey struck him out last night with that split finger, about the same pitch. Same location.
Full count. J.D. Martinez on deck.
Now that's more the 2-seam fastball that will run away from a left-handed hitter. Santana, 32 years old, in his 11th major league season. He made an all-star team for the Angels back in 2008.
And with no one near the third base bag, Martinez lobs one to short left field. A 2-out single, and that'll get Martinez to the plate.
Santana in that outing in Kansas City allowed only 3 hits. He did walk 3, but 1 intentional with 8 strikeouts. Right here, doesn't want to walk him, challenges him. And Martinez taking that fastball the other way. First hit of the ball game.
Now J.D. Martinez. So far so good. The Tigers have filled in admirably in the absence of Miguel Cabrera. 1 more games than they've lost, and J.D. Martinez a big part of that. Strike called in the outside corner.
Look at those numbers. 24 home runs. He's driven in 58 runs.
And he's picked it up in the middle months. When Cabrera went out a few games ago, he's continued to swing the bat well and drive in runs.
Yeah, 3rd in the American League in home runs. Good fastball just missing there.
First pitch looked outside. That looked like it had the inside corner. 1-1.
Well, this is a pretty straight fastball right there, trying to clip the corner. And that's a strike.
Fox Track says it isn't.
Oh, come on. You don't trust Fox.
I trust technology. That's to center. Playable for Hicks. A single and 3 fly ball outs in a quick first inning for Irvin Santana. That he's particularly proud of is how they've handled tough losses, and last night was a tough loss, and they've typically come back. And you look at the season, Bert, there really haven't been any long losing streaks, and the worst stretch of the season was the first week of the season.
Well, they swept the Baltimore Orioles. Now they lost, and hopefully they can win here today.
Menard's batting order has Dozier, Hunter, and Mauer, Sano, Plouffe, and Rosario, Hicks, Suzuki, and Santana.
And the lineup facing Justin Verlander. Verlander just making his 5th start of the year. He started the season for the first time he had ever been on the disabled list with a strained right triceps. Activated on June 13th, has not been an easy go in his first 4 starts. 10 walks for Verlander in 22 2/3 innings, unlike the control pitcher he's always been.
And a high fastball. Of course, Dozier goes after it, fouls it back.
Verlander, a guy, when he is healthy, he'll start off maybe 92, 93, and as the game goes on, you will see him hit in the mid-90s, velocity-wise. Just trying to get back into form now. He had a spring training, and then the triceps area started bothering him, and started it on the DL.
And now an off-speed pitch and another foul back.
Verlander, 32 years old, 6-time All-Star, American League Rookie of the Year in 2006. He did make some appearances in 2005, but qualified as a rookie in 2006, and then won the Cy Young and the American League MVP in 2011.
Driven to right. J.D. Martinez is there to catch the liner, 1 down. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 3 swings in the first out. Here's the Northland Ford defense for the Tigers. Buenos Cespedes in left. Anthony goes in center. J.D. Martinez in right. Castellanos at third. Iglesias going to the All-Star game for good reason. Kinsler, Kraus, and Avila behind the plate. Torrey Hunter with one gone. Down and away, ball one.
These guys, of course, teammates for a couple years in Detroit, and Torrey Hunter against Verlander, 13 hits in 48 at-bats, so a lot of at-bats against Verlander with 271 batting average.
Popped up, short center. Kinsler just barely out onto the outfield grass, 2 down.
What the Twins are trying to do here is beat Verlander here at Target Field for the first time. Over his last 7 starts, and only 7 starts here at Target Field, he's 5-0. And you can see the last 4 starts against the Twins. Twins have handled them okay prior to that. 11 starts, 9-1. So yeah, you know, this guy is a very, very consistent pitcher. One thing the Tigers aren't going to get is the 200 innings that he always supplies them year after year.
Tricep issue flared up in spring training and set him back. Ball one to Bauer. Joe's really got good numbers against Verlander, hitting .369 against him with 3 home runs, a dozen walks. That's to the left field corner, but foul, 1-1.
Yeah, Verlander also, you know, he came up in 2005, so he pitched at the Metrodome too. In 5 starts, 1-2, an ERA of about 4.5. Where he ranks since 2009. He just pitched his 2000th inning in his last start against the Toronto Blue Jays.
A little roller to the right side. Kinsler with an easy play, and Verlander has an easy first inning.
The Vote Dozier campaign sweeping throughout the metro area and beyond Twins territory. I had a conversation with Brian this afternoon in the clubhouse, and he was taken back by the support. The video messages yesterday from people like Brett Favre and Zach Parise really meant a lot to him. But he said, you know what, it's time to focus on baseball. It was flattering. It was fun to be a part of that, but I really want to focus in on this series and keeping this team relevant in the Central Division and looking forward to, after the All-Star break, making a run at the postseason, guys, in the second half. And if they're going to get there, he's got to keep playing the way he's playing. He's been one of their best players so far in the first half. That's the reason, and a big part of the reason they are where they are right now.
Well, thank you, Kevin. Irvin Santana getting ready to pitch to Alex Avila, Nick Castellanos, and Mark Kraus.
And that's so true. You know, there's first halves and there's second halves, and we have seen it. And you know, guys will have a great first half, and then they'll stumble a little bit in the second half. What you want to do is put that MVP type year together. And Dozier's off to a good start as far as just being consistent all season long.
1-0. And now 2-0. And in the last inning, we were talking about Brian's consolation prize, which is the groundswell of support that he was witness to from fans, teammates alike. And then, too, he's not going to the All-Star game. So he and his wife will spend the All-Star break in a lake in north central Minnesota. So that's not a bad consolation prize either.
Not at all.
2-1 to Avila. And now down low, 3-1.
You know, last inning I mentioned Verlander has never lost here at Target Field in 7 starts. Same for Irvin Santana in 3 starts here at Target Field with the Angels and the Royals. He's 2-0 with a 3.1 ERA.
And now 3-2.
And in the Metrodome in 3 starts, he is 1-0. So he has not lost here in Minnesota at all. 3-0 overall in Minnesota in 6 starts.
And a walk to Avila to start the second inning. And now Castellanos.
Santana in that start in Kansas City ended up throwing 93 pitches, 58 for strikes. Oh, Neil Allen and also Paul Molitor were thinking about sending him back out there, but for the first time, that's a great job. 8 very good innings.
Tigers are hitting into ground ball double plays at a record clip. This one golfed into the left field corner. Avila didn't run particularly well. He rounds second, goes to third, and they're going to hold him there. Tigers lost a runner at the plate yesterday, but a walk now, a double, and a threat for Detroit in the second.
And Castellanos jumping on that first fastball and hook it into the corner. It's a double. It's just a matter if Avila could score from first. So a couple runners on, second and third, nobody out for the Tigers. Not a lot of movement on that fastball. And it's hammered into the corner. Second hit off of Santana. Rosario has to get back in quickly.
Now Kraus. Twins playing the infield back in the early innings here.
Those numbers for Kraus, those are at bats with the Angels, the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Tigers this year. Three different clubs for Mark Kraus. He was claimed off waivers just about 4 days ago by the Tigers from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Tap foul, 0-2. Sanford Health injury report. Game lost maybe its best hitter, Miguel Cabrera, and the Tigers will try to climb up the standings without him for the next month and a half. First time on the disabled list with a left calf strain. Santana struck out 8 in his debut against the Royals. He could use a strikeout here. And inside 1-2.
Nice stop by Suzuki. Yeah, how many times did we over the last 4 or 5 years talk about Cabrera and his injuries, what he was playing with at that time?
Right.
But this one, he could not stay off that DL.
Ooh. That ball landed 5 feet in front of the plate. Suzuki was able to block it and keep it near the plate.
I think he blocked it with his left shoulder. Suzuki, as a catcher, you try to use everything you can to try to keep the ball in front of you. It's a breaking ball that lands far in front of home plate. And off the left shoulder, the pad.
Struck him out. Suzuki hung on to the foul tip. 1 down.
Well, This is a good breaking ball down and in underneath that swing of Krause. Where left-handers like to swing right there, but then the ball just disappears.
And now with one out, the Twins will bring the infield in. They don't have to bring it in all the way with Avila the runner at third. Goes will strike out about once every 4 times. Strike on the outside corner. When the Twins started the Baltimore series, we made note of the fact that the Orioles were very, very good at hitting with men in scoring position. Then the Twins swept the Orioles largely because they were able to do their best pitching in situations like this. Inside 1-1. So it's early in the ball game, and Santana is going to try to wiggle his way out of this second inning jam.
Same as what David Price did last night. He worked out of a couple jams in the first and second inning, and also the fourth, and then settled down, found out that changeup was his best pitch, and he took it all the way through 8 innings. Right now, he's tried a couple times with that slider. Big break on that slider, down and in. Started, goes off with a fastball away.
Goes not one to walk much, just 15 of those, but 65 strikeouts on the season. 2-1. Another nice block by Suzuki, who couldn't find the carom. And it's 3-1 with Iglesias on deck.
Yeah, this looks like the changeup right here. Just on the other side of the plate. Hurt able to keep it in front of him. Not where Irvin Santana wants to be, 50-50.
93 pitches, 58 strikes in Kansas City in his debut. Stuck one on the outside corner at 95 miles per hour.
Santana, not a big man, tall wise, 6'2", but they have listed at about 175.
Foul tip.
Went back to that slider that struck out Krause, and goes got a piece of it. Santana making his 298th major league start. 119 wins, 100 losses.
And he missed, and goes draws a rare walk, just his 16th of the year. Now they're loaded up with one out. Iglesias the batter. Iglesias among the league leaders in hitting at 324, but 244 at bats, only 15 runs batted in. The Twins will hope to get a ground ball hit at somebody.
You're looking for a double play. Iglesias has hit into 7 double plays.
If it's hit to the corners, the Twins may go home. If it's hit up the middle, a more conventional double play attempt. And a high strike, 0-1. To the right side, and Mauer will come home to get the force play. No chance to get the out at first.
A good pitch right there by Santana. It just jammed Iglesias, and he fought it off. And Joe came charging in, got the force out at home. So a big second out for the Twins.
Base is still loaded now for Kinsler.
Yeah, Joe was playing a little bit behind the bag, but see the pitch right there just jams Iglesias. Mauer comes in, makes a good, easy throw to Suzuki, and it's a force out at home plate. Nicely done.
Two down, and now Kinsler. And he takes the first pitch here, ball one. He Swung at the first pitch of the first inning and popped up to Santana.
He's a guy that likes to swing the bat.
Got the two biggest hits for the Tigers last night in his first and last at bat. The double off the top of the fence, driving in the go-ahead run. To center. And Hicks puts it away. Great job by Santana pitching out of a jam in the second. A hit. Sano drives in his first big league run with a single to right. A deep drive to left field. Way back and gone. His first major league home run.
He just gave his family something to celebrate.
And so we go to the bottom of the second, and it's Miguel Sano leading things off. He'll be followed by Plouffe and Rosario. Outside, ball one.
Pretty good for Sano right here. Again, only 22 years old. Last night he faces David Price, who has won a Cy Young Award. Now Justin Verlander, who's won a Cy Young Award. Pretty good experience for the youngster to face these two guys.
His manager said of the strikeouts last night it was more Price than the inexperienced Sano up here. Remember, it was Verlander who pitched on opening day a couple years ago when Aaron Hicks was making his major league debut as the Twins starting center fielder. Verlander had his way with him. He struck out Hicks 3 times on 10 pitches or something like that.
A good changeup right there after a breaking ball down and away.
1-2. Last night, the first game of Sano's major league career where he did not get at least one hit. And now 2-2. People who've seen Verlander pitch in his 4 starts say that they feel the stuff is there or real close to being there. But until you see it by game's end and the numbers that we used to see, 3-2.
Yeah, they said that in a couple of starts he was nasty for 3 or 4 innings, and then you wonder with that triceps area. And someone that I had elbow surgery in 1982, you come back the next year, you favor your shoulder, which I did. I protected my elbow. You end up hurting your shoulder.
Roller left side and under the glove of Castellanos. Sano is the first hit, and other than his infield hit to start his big league hit career, that is the softest hit he's got, but he hit it in the right place.
Hit it in the right spot. That's right. Castellanos guarding the line a little bit. He dove for the ball, couldn't come up with it. So the first hit of the ball game goes to Miguel Sano off of Verlander.
Trevor Plouffe will bat. One thing that the Twins, who've not seen Sano, people who have followed him in the minor leagues aren't surprised, but those of us who haven't had a chance to see him are pleasantly surprised about his ability to run. You look at him and you see his size and you see the strength, but he runs pretty well.
Well, we kind of saw that in his first major league hit when he had that little chopper,
right,
on the grass that he beat out. But in the minor leagues, 33 stolen bases. Was caught 14 times. Down in Double-A, Chattanooga this year, 5 stolen bases in 6 attempts.
Side missing the corner, 1-1.
But Verlander, a very good pitcher as far as holding on runners too.
Well, I bring it up because Avila, no one expects him to run well. He was at first, and the next batter got a double, and Avila couldn't score. In this case, with this guy, if Plouffe gets a double, there's a decent chance he's going to end up scoring. 1-1. And now missing inside 2-1.
For the second straight night, I'm surprised how shallow the outfielders are playing a guy like Trevor Plouffe. Especially goes out in center field.
Well, there's some center fielders that feel really comfortable going back, but he's got, what'd you guess, 100 feet almost behind his back to the wall.
If Trevor can hit a gapper, that ball will roll all the way, I'm sure, to the wall between all 3 outfielders.
2-2.
Trevor has 22 doubles on the year. 7 hits in 31 at bats against Verlander.
Trying to build an inning, build a threat. They had a number of early threats against David Price last night, but couldn't cash in. Swing and a miss, and Plouffe strikes out.
Yeah, the breaking ball that just kind of spun up, and Trevor, I think, expecting that ball to come down and stayed up about letter high. Verlander picks up his first strikeout. Take a look at his breaking ball right here. Just kind of spun. Didn't really come down, I think, the way that Verlander wanted it.
If Plouffe had hit it, you'd say that was a hanger, wouldn't you?
Yep. Threw many of those, thank you.
Here's Rosario. Outside, ball 1. Rosario's seen the average slowly trickle down to 264. He kept it in that 270 to 280 range through the month of June.
Well, like Sano, Rosario facing Verlander for the first time.
A fly ball to right center field. J.D. Martinez for out number 2. And that'll bring up Hicks. Run or skate in the RBC Race for the Kids Minnesota Half Marathon and 5K, benefiting Ronald McDonald House Charities Upper Midwest on Saturday, August 1st. The top fundraiser wins a trip for 2 to Grand Cayman. And for more details, visit foxsportsnorth.com and click on upcoming events. He's got a leadoff single from Sano. He's still there with 2 down, and now Hicks. Hicks 0 for 6 with 4 strikeouts against Verlander in a major league debut that he would love to forget. And nothing would help the forgetting process more than to pick up some hits.
I think that was the old Aaron Hicks. I think this is the new. He's swinging the bat a lot better. Hopefully he can get a hit. He can drive right here on a pitch.
And he lifts it to center field.
Just got underneath it.
Playable for Ghost. Sano left aboard, 2 scoreless innings. You're watching the Tigers and Twins, presented by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. Timeless moment on this date in 2001. In his final All-Star appearance, Cal Ripken is named the MVP of the game. His home run, along with consecutive dingers from Derek Jeter and Maglio Ordonez, power the American League to its 5th win in a row, beating the National League at Seattle's Safeco Field 4-1. Took my family to that game. That was a memorable All-Star experience, in part because the home team had such great representation. There were 8 Seattle Mariners in that game. That was the year the Mariners won so many ball games. What, 114 games, something like that. It's just incredible.
Lou Piniella was the manager.
And you kind of got the sense, being there, that Seattle, not geographically, but in baseball terms, was the center of the universe. They did a great job hosting the All-Star game and had so many All-Stars and a great team. Down and away, 2-1.
And it's a beautiful town with a beautiful ballpark.
Cespedes, Martinez, and Martinez in the 3rd. Fouled away. Cespedes with a fly to center. It's way down the road, of course, and the Tigers have all the concerns and worries they can handle in the present day. But Cespedes and Price are both going to be free agents after this year. That's laced to center, a solid hit for a leadoff hit here in the 3rd. And that'll bring up Victor Martinez. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Victor Martinez singled to left his first time up. Has hit into 10 ground ball double plays. Tigers as a team have hit into 92 of them in the first 85 games. Down low, ball 1. Injuries have played a part in it, but Tigers have actually given up more runs than they have scored. And Dave Dombrowski was not counting on that in 2015. 2-0.
You know, you mentioned last night with Martinez, he's such a professional up there. He does not give an at-bat away. You know, Santana threw a couple pitches down in the zone. You're hoping that he would maybe swing at him, maybe hit a ground ball. Now he's behind an account. Going inside is Suzuki.
Pulled foul. Omar Vizquel has still got the quickness, doesn't he? Two and 1.
Martinez from Venezuela, 36 years old, signed by the Indians out of Venezuela in 1996.
Look at that. 25 more ground ball double plays than the American League average. 2 and 1.
It means you hit into a lot of double plays. I mean, you got a lot of runners on the bases too. They're hitting 281 as a ball club. That's the best in all of baseball.
Driven to right and deep. Hunter back, and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Victor Martinez. And from the left side of the plate against Ervin Santana, he's 2 for 2.
He fell behind, came in with a pitch. Martinez with the uppercut swing hits his 4th home run of the year. His 2nd career home run against Ervin Santana. About thigh high, inner half of the plate. And a good uppercut swing and power out of Martinez.
Swing and a miss by J.D. Martinez. The Tigers had a threat in the second inning, and Santana pitched around that, but now quickly a 2-run home run in the third. Up and in, 1-1.
That home run measured at 383 feet.
Breaking ball hits the corner. Santana not one to give up a whole bunch of home runs. Last year, just under 200 innings, he gave up 16. But a couple of years ago, in his last year with the Angels, he did give up a bunch. 39 of them in 178 innings. He was on a pace to break a sacred record.
No way.
Swing and a miss.
Good fastball up and in, and Santana comes back and strikes out Martinez. For Irvin Santana, his second strikeout. There's no way. I pitched almost like 280 innings.
I said he was on a pace. He pitched 178 innings. If he'd have pitched another 100 innings, your record would have been history.
Everybody that gives up one home run is closer to my record.
And you can see the Tigers rely on the home run. A strike. Coming into the game, though, they've hit just 10 more this year than the Twins. Avila walked, got as far as third base, actually was thrown out on a force play at home plate for the first out of the second inning. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, they have hit 83 home runs now, the Tigers have, but their opponents have hit 94, so the staff has given up more than they have hit. And the Twins, 72 home runs, the opponents have hit 85 now.
Time called. Twins in a 2-strike pull shift for Avila. And Santana strikes out Avila on 3 pitches, 2 down.
Well, the home run kind of woke up Santana. Now 2 straight strikeouts.
Slug your way to the Home Run Derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Action-packed, insanely fun. You can play in Great American Ballpark, home of the 2015 All-Star Game with 2015 Home Run Derby participants. Brian Dozier, of course, in the Home Run Derby last year. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby on the App Store and Google Play. And when we were in Cincinnati a little over a week ago, you said you would watch the Home Run Derby to see where some of the balls would land in that ballpark.
See if they land in the Ohio River right behind right field.
Driven to right center field. And Castellanos has a 2-out single. Third hit of the inning. And Brian Dozier participated last year. At least he didn't get shut out, but look at the lineup this year. Pujols, Chris Bryant, Jock Peterson, Manny Machado, Josh Donaldson, Anthony Rizzo, Todd Frazier. I'm guessing he'll be the hometown favorite.
You
and
think?
Prince Fielder.
Yeah, I want to see Jock Peterson and Prince Fielder. Then Jock Peterson can hit the ball a long way with the Dodgers.
And I'm not that anybody cares, but I'm thrilled Pujols is committed to being in it. Ground ball backhanded by Plouffe, and it'll go 5-6, a force play at second base. Victor Martinez with his 4th home run of the year and an early Tiger lead. By Century Link, your link to what's next. By NorthlandFord.com and your local Northland Ford dealer. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Hot muggy night in Minneapolis. It's going to get hotter and muggier.
Yes.
You like that, do you?
Oh, yes.
Kurt Suzuki will lead off the third for the Twins.
Yeah, Verlander, 2 innings. He's need only 23 pitches to get 6 outs. Has given up a base hit. That to Miguel Sano last inning.
Suzuki, Santana, and Dozier. And ball 1.
Suzuki 9 hits and 33 at bats against Verlander.
And a strike, 1-1.
I think the highest he's thrown so far, I think about 92, 93. Just told 94.
What we saw in his prime, something very few pitchers can do. Bartolo Colon could in his prime. Cruising along, you can use that term, 94, 95. And then with men on base, Verlander had the ability to dial it up to 97, 98, and 99, even in the late innings. I don't know that that's there anymore for him. 2-1. And Suzuki gets a base hit to left. Second leadoff hit for the Twins.
Yeah, breaking ball just kind of stayed up, and Kurt Suzuki finding the same hole that Sano found.
And that'll bring up Danny Santana.
Well, again, you can rehab all you want. Of course, with that tricep area, there's a time that you just had to leave the ball alone and let it sit and try to, take the right medication to heal and do the right exercises. Then you go through the rehab, and really it's kind of a building process still for Verlander up here.
Santana working a lot on bunting again before the game today, and he squares and takes down an in ball 1. He must have laid down in the neighborhood of 250 bunts in early work today with Paul Molitor watching, Butch Davis pitching, and what they're trying to get Santana to do is open up the whole bunting game as a left-handed batter here.
Yeah, Joe Vavra also out there,
Yep.
just kind of squaring the bat around, trying to take it with him or the other way. Joe Vavra right there with Butch Davis.
Working on positioning, and they want him to be able to bunt to either side of the field, up the third baseline, first baseline, similarly from the right side of the plate. They worked on slug bunting where he would square and then pull the bat back and put a three-quarter swing on the ball.
Yeah, Twins just want him to utilize his speed, and that's why, if you're having trouble getting base hits, go ahead and try to bunt.
Tap to the right side. Nice pickup by Kraus, and the relay not in time. Kraus backhanding it, getting the lead runner, one down.
Yeah, very nice play by Kraus. And Verlander has to become the first baseman in the relay throw. He was there, but Santana stayed out of the double play. Kraus holding on. Suzuki goes to his right, gets it on the short hop, and Verlander over there, but Santana's speed stays out of the double play.
Nifty little play.
Yeah, and you throw it exactly where Kraus threw to Iglesias on the infield side.
Dozier had a good at bat against Verlander, lining out to Martinez to start the ball game.
See if Santana might try to steal here. Again, Verlander, very quick feet and good at holding on base runners. It's been 107 stolen bases in his career off of him, 55 caught. This is his 303rd major league start.
I'm guessing because of who's at the plate, they might not send him here. You've got an extra base hitter in Dozier, if not a home run, a lot of doubles too, and either one of those would get Santana across the plate. But there he goes. And an off-speed pitch. Santana with the steal. And Paul talked about that in terms of hitting and running, stealing bases. Getting the pitch he wants as a manager to put a steal on. And they guessed right this time.
Well, you know what? I mean, this is a fastball, but Santana, credit him. He got a good jump off of Verlander. Now watch Kinsler right here. Keep the glove on him. That hand comes off the bag, but his foot was there. That's what you want your middle infielders to do.
One strike to Dozier.
So Santana getting into scoring position with his 6th stolen base. That's Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, that's going to try to keep Santana close to the bag. Verlander showing him that he can do that spin around move.
Breaking ball away, 2-1. Both teams chasing the Royals. Right now they're in a rain delay. Haven't started the game at Kauffman Stadium. They're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Two and 1 to Dozier. Fouled back 2-2. We've seen Santana clock at 95. Verlander clocked at 95.
Yeah, Verlander making his 30th career start against the Twins here tonight. 15 wins, 8 losses. Very good ERA against the Twins over his since 2005 at a 3.19 clip.
Two and 2. Now 3-2. We saw David Price last night pick up some key strikeouts in key at bats. And Verlander capable of doing that too. Hunter on deck.
Yeah, Price, as the game went on, he even said himself he had a better feel for his changeup than he did his other pitches. Boy, he pitched well. 8 very good innings.
Took a fastball in the outside corner at 97. So Verlander reaching back for a little extra on the fastball to get a big strikeout.
Straight over the top is Justin Verlander right there. And those are taking it for strike 3. Verlander with his 2nd strikeout.
Game 3 tomorrow on Fox Sports 1 beginning at 3 p.m. Central, then at 6 p.m. Central. Baseball night in America. The Yankees battle the Red Sox on your local Fox station. That's Channel 9 here in the Twin Cities. It's all this week on your home for baseball. Every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. Here is Hunter with Santana at 2nd and 2 down. Swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch.
Good slider right there.
Yankees are leading the Red Sox at Fenway Park tonight, 4-1 in the 6th. If the Red Sox somehow sweep the Yankees at Fenway, and the Red Sox have played the best baseball within the division the last 2 weeks, they would be 2.5 games out of first place. And everybody in Boston wanted to throw in the towel in May.
Yeah, they're 4 games under 500 and they're only 5.5 out.
We heard that within the game tonight, Clay Buchholz has left the game with right elbow discomfort. The Red Sox, as they've tried to get back to the 500 marker, pitching thin to begin with. That's the last thing they need.
It's sad to say Buchholz is on a disabled list at least once every year.
2 strikes to Hunter. Checked his swing, and they're saying he went. Home plate umpire Adam Hamari saying Torrey didn't check and he didn't ask. This is the same situation in Detroit. Well, he went. Couple of runs. It'll be Anthony Goes, Jose Iglesias, and Ian Kinsler in the 4th inning.
Ervin Santana, 57 pitches in the first 3 innings, so he needs a quick 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th inning.
Goes drew a walk, rarity for him, and he takes strike 1 from Santana. The walk filled the bases, and then Santana got out number 2 in the Iglesias at bat, and then got Kinsler in a fly ball. And the Tigers left the bases full. Just off the plate, 1-1.
Santana last year with the Atlanta Braves, a 14-game winner. ERA under 4.
Right side and through. And Goes is aboard with another leadoff hit. 3rd inning in a row that the Tigers have had the leadoff man on. And let's find Kevin Gord.
Yeah, it's like deja vu watching Torrey Hunter at the plate on that controversial 3rd strike. It was back on June 10th. He had that epic meltdown against the Tigers, and a little spoof today before the ball game during batting practice. A handful of his former teammates came out in full uniform as Torrey approached the batting cage, and they reenacted the meltdown by Torrey Hunter from earlier this season. Of course, a lot of good friends on the other side from his time in Detroit, and a little fun at the expense of Torrey Hunter today. Guys, he kept the gear and the clothing on, thank goodness.
That was hilarious. Anibal Sanchez, David Price. Here's a high fly deep down the left field line. Chased by Rosario, and no play. Iglesias, who has just 1 home run, made a bid for another one. 1 strike. Iglesias got jammed, hit a 1-hopper to Mauer, who came home for a force play. Santana, as you said, could use a quick inning or at least an easier inning. The last 2 have been tough. 3 hits and a couple of runs allowed in the 3rd.
Keep an eye on Goes. He likes to run. 13 stolen bases in 19 attempts.
And just barely getting back is Goes.
Santana, like Verlander, trying to keep the runners close by showing off their quick feet and also quick throw over to first.
Paul Molitor up on the top step, didn't see anything to challenge. Santana got a ground ball double play in Kansas City. Figure if we talk about it enough, eventually it's going to happen.
The idea is not to have any base runners, so we don't have to talk about it. You know, earlier today we showed Santana out here. Also, Byron Buxton was out here with Paul Molitor working on exactly what Goes is doing at first base. We saw that from Billy Hamilton, where he keeps his feet moving. Now he's set right now, but once Santana comes set, you keep their feet moving so they can go either way. Creeping towards second.
Another creep.
Remember, we showed that about Billy Hamilton, how he would get out there, get set, and then as he moved, his feet just kept moving, and finally he took off. What did he steal? 6 bases in that series?
And there he goes, and the pitch flipped foul.
Oh, he got that running lead. So Santana tried to quick pitch, but Goes took off right away. Great jump, but Iglesias fouled it off.
2 strikes to the number 9 batter. Santana playing goes, plenty of attention.
They're trying to wear him down.
And a time called by Omar Vizquel. Asked home plate umpire Adam Hamari and Marty Foster.
They're going to tie his shoe.
Well, they'll let him tie his own shoe. That's not the job description for first base coach, is it?
I don't think Omar Vizquel would do that.
Here, the ultimate compliment you can pay a speedster is that he runs out of his shoes, and now the first base coach is trying to make sure that doesn't happen. And a little more accurate pickoff throw may have gotten goes.
Right, that ball a little bit on the side of Joe. Take a look right here. That ball's over to Joe's right. Might be able to get him.
2 strikes. Time call. Now, where do you want to throw the ball? You threw over there a couple million times in your career. Where is the best place to throw a pickoff throw to first?
If you can, you try to throw it right at Joe's, say, buckle or his thigh area.
1 and 2.
You don't want to throw it too low.
For fear of hitting the runner? Or?
Well, I know, bouncing the ball. Maybe Joe has to pick it, but mainly just toward the right side of Joe, almost where Goes is now. To the right side of the bag at Joe's letters as he leans over.
Don't know how much of an adjustment that is for someone learning first base. You know, you're taught to stretch out for the throw, but in that instance you want the ball to get, there goes and the throw to second. Safe. And we'll see whether the Twins challenge. Iglesias strikes out, and I don't know how else to say this. Goes, and right now he's got a stolen base.
Yeah, it'd be his 14th of the year.
And
a good throw by Suzuki right here, but look at the jump that Goes gets. And again, as an infielder, Brian Dozier, you want to keep that tag on Goes in case. I mean, he slid all the way through the bag. It's a breaking ball, so that's harder for Suzuki to throw. Now, if he had made contact with Iglesias, Goes may have to go back to first.
And that was, I would imagine, the topic of conversation briefly with Adam Hamari. Runner at second, 1 down. Here's Kinsler. And ball 1. A lot of pitches for Santana. Only 10 outs on the board. Santana in a bit of a rut where almost all of his pitches in the last few innings have been from the stretch position. Away 2-0.
Well, 14 pitches in the first, 23-20. So far 9, but I think probably, what, a dozen to first base?
2-0 to Kinsler. Check the swing.
Pretty good pitch right there.
A couple of them on this at bat Santana thought had the corner.
Yeah, Irvin, he's walked a couple already. You don't want to make a mistake here to Kinsler. He will have the green light if the ball's probably more middle in. Watch Suzuki where he moves.
And it's a 4-pitch walk. First and second, 1 down.
Third walk for Santana.
Cespedes singled and scored in the third. Molitor leave his spot on the top step of the dugout, heading down the dugout for some reason. It's been an anxiety-filled top half of the second, third, and now fourth inning. Cespedes with a fly to center and a leadoff single in the third. He drilled a single to center in front of the Martinez home run.
Yeah, this is a guy that likes, and when he makes contact, he seems to always get the barrel of the bat on it, just like that.
Deep to left center field. Hicks is back, but that ball is gone. Yep. A 3-run home run. 5-0 Detroit.
Cespedes very, very strong. His 13th home run of the year. And with the 3 runs batted in, he has 50 on the season.
Has always hit against the Twins very well. Didn't hit against the Twins as a member of the Red Sox, but with Oakland and now the Tigers, he's feasted on pitches like this.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, right on the barrel of the bat. Ball get a long way into the bullpen area, over 400 feet away. 411 right there at the door. And the second home run that Santana has given up. The 2-run home run last inning, and now a 3-run home run.
Into the shift, backhanded by Plouffe. And Martinez barely gets to the bag. 2 down. And that'll bring up J.D. Martinez. Never thought it was my business to spend somebody else's money, but I'd be surprised if the Tigers didn't try to keep Cespedes based on the health history of their 2 anchors in their lineup, Victor Martinez and now Miguel Cabrera. This guy pretty young, very productive, plays the outfield well. So of the 2 free agents, I'd be surprised if the Tigers didn't make their strongest run, maybe at Cespedes. On the outside corner, a strike. 0-2.
Well, that 3-run home run measured at 417 feet. So I'd have to say he got it all.
One and 2. Already pitch number 74 for Irvin Santana. Dave Clark wanted no part of that. Don't blame him. Verlander staked to an early 5-run lead. Santana tried to steal the inside corner but missed there. 2-2.
Yeah, just not as sharp as he was in his debut in Kansas City. A couple mistakes at the wrong time. The one to Victor Martinez, and then we just saw the one to Cespedes. But he's falling behind. 3 walks.
Two and 2 to J.D. Martinez. Hit high and deep to right center field. And that ball's gone. A solo home run, a 2-run home run, and a 3-run home run. The Tigers have all 6 on long balls.
And that's where Martinez has most of his power the other way. His 25th home run of the year. He now has 59 RBIs on the year. And Neil Allen's going to go out and talk to his right-hander, but Martinez going down and see the strength that he has the other way.
I was talking with Paul Molitor about that during batting practice today, and I think I mentioned it to you last night. Now a hitter hitting a home run to the opposite field is still somewhat of a rarity, like it should be. There was a period of time, for whatever reason you want to believe, where opposite field home runs were commonplace. But here in this ballpark, you've got to be awfully strong as a right-handed batter to hit an opposite field home run. Here's Avila, has walked and struck out.
That home run measured at 398 feet.
Swing and a foul. Fox Tracks presented by Chrysler. In his Twins debut, Santana gave up a solo home run to Alex Gordon. But then had 4 1-2-3 innings. You take a 1-2-3 inning here anytime.
You know what? We have some guests in the booth here, and since they have come up here, Detroit's put a 4th spot on the board.
Next half inning, we'll have you folks go over to the Detroit
please.
TV booth.
Jeez. You come up for a minute, but not 15 minutes.
A strikeout ends a bad inning for Irvin Santana and the Twins. A 3-run home run by Cespedes, a solo home run by Martinez, and it is 6-0. By Chrysler. Enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. Couple more home runs for the Tigers, one with a couple men on base. And as a Twin, Irvin Santana has given up 8 runs, 7 of them on home runs. Joe Mauer will lead off the 4th. Twins need to try to work their way back into the game. Mauer grounded out to Kinsler his first time up, ball 1.
Yeah, a guy like Verlander, he knows what he needs to do. Keep attacking the strike zone. Don't let your opponent come get back into the ball game. Big inning right here. After scoring 4 runs, 6-0 lead, you want to put a 0 on the board.
And on the outside corner, 1-1.
40 pitches for Verlander, 24 strikes. No walks, 3 strikeouts.
And again on the outside corner, 1-2. I mentioned at the outset, both the Tigers and the Twins are hoping for better second halves from the 2 starters tonight, because they didn't get much from them in the first half. A little bit different story though for the Tigers, because until he proves otherwise, there will always be some lingering concern about Verlander and his health. Santana's lack of contribution in the first half for the Twins, a completely different matter. The suspension for using PEDs. 1-2. And Vila tried to widen the outside corner.
And that's what you try to do. How much will that umpire give you? Verlander trying that two-seamer down and away, but it's out of the strike zone.
It's to left field, and Cespedes to the gap, makes the running catch. That's what impressed us when we saw the Tigers in the first series of the year. A couple of plays Cespedes made in left field. Just a great athlete in left field, one down.
Well, he's got a great arm. We have seen that on the highlight reel, but he got a very good jump right there, guarding the line, the left field line for Joe Mauer. And Joe trying to hit it in that gap right there, but Cespedes gets a good jump and on the run makes a nice running catch. That ball hit very sharply off the bat of Joe Mauer. Verlander says thank you.
One down, and now Sano. Cespedes has committed 5 errors in left field, which is a pretty high number. You can see the athleticism out there. Sano rolled a single through the left side of the infield. His first time up. 1-1. When started hitting Sano 6th, he handled that okay. They moved him up to 5th briefly. He handled that okay. Now he has entrenched himself as much as you can in 8 games as a cleanup hitter. 2-1.
Twins hoping he'll bring up some of that minor league power to the big leagues. 105 home runs in the minor leagues in 4+ seasons.
Check swing, but a called strike. 2-2.
Verlander took a little off that pitch. 85 miles an hour. He does what David Price and any good pitcher does. Good job of adding and subtracting.
We saw him reach back for 97 miles per hour to strike out Dozier in the 3rd inning. And a foul at the plate.
They got a piece of that breaking ball. Pitch count very good. 8, 15, 15, 10 so far here in the 4th.
Hasn't faced more than 4 batters in an inning. And Sano getting time. Inside, up around the hands, 3-2. That's what I think Paul Molitor was talking about after last night's game. Sano struck out twice against David Price, but they weren't 3 and outs. You know, he battled and had a competitive at bat, and that's what he's had here against Verlander. And he takes a walk.
Yeah, good walk right there on a very close pitch. So Verlander walks his first batter. And Snow on base for the 2nd time.
Sano has now struck out 9 times and walked 7 times.
Verlander trying to just go fastball away. And
all right. Was that a strike?
Yes, it was. In my opinion, yes.
Between the batter's boxes, right?
Box tracks had it just on the corner, and that's all you need, but it's ball 4. So I guess it wasn't a strike.
Plouffe takes outside, ball 1. Plouffe struck out. Verlander just kind of threw him a spinner, belt high over the inside corner, and Plouffe swung through it for strike 3. Wrapped to 3rd. Castellanos to Kinsler. And over to Krause, an inning-ending double play. The Twins are done in the 4th. And you're watching the Tigers and Twins, presented by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. Tigers muscling up on the Twins. There's our Mountain Dew fans of the game. Hoping the Twins can come back. 6-0 on the strength of 3 home runs for Detroit.
Yeah, not a good outing for Irvin Santana. Only 4 innings for Santana. He gave him 3 home runs, 6 runs on 8 hits. So the bullpen needed here in the 5th inning. First one out will be J.R. Graham, making his 24th relief appearance. He made 1 start earlier, back in early June, making his 23rd relief appearance. He last worked on Tuesday, 1 inning against the Orioles. Gave up a run in that inning, but the Twins won that ball game 8-3.
Fouled away, 1 strike. Castellanos, Krause, and goes in the 5th inning.
J.R. Graham, of course, a Rule 5 player. He made his major league debut against the Tigers back on April 6th, my birthday. Couple shutout innings. Twins lost that game. That was a 4-0 game.
Slider gets a swinging strike.
David Price beat Phil Hughes on opening day.
That seems like a long time ago, not because it was your birthday, but just, you know, we started the season in Detroit, and thankfully the Twins have played better baseball this year than in recent years.
Well, you got to wait 272 more days until my next one.
Speaking for a large part of our viewing audience, I think we'll all be holding our breath.
I know they will. There's a lot of other people that have the same day, same birthday. Too many have it on March 1st. Good slider right there. Graham picks up a strikeout. Graham coming in. Good hard breaking ball right here. Castellanos swinging at a pitch out of the strike zone. Graham gets the punch out. He missed that by a foot.
1 down, Krause the batter. So you're saying J.R. Graham in his attire is Calvin Griffith approved, with the stirrups showing the TC.
For sure.
Strike
and we've told the story why he does that for his mother that is legally blind. So when he comes into the ball game, she can see him and know who he is. He's got the white shoes on. Styling out there.
Fouled away.
Yeah, I mean, back in the 70s, that was kind of the norm. I remember Vida Blue. Remember his stirrups? He wore his pants just below his knees, and then that stirrup came all the way up to the knee. And we had to show the TC. Exactly what Graham's doing.
Up and away, 1-2.
That was a must. That was from Mr. Griffin, Calvin Griffin. You had to show that right there, the TC.
I didn't know he was that much of a marketing whiz. That's good brand. That's good for your brand.
Yes,
that's the term now they use in marketing, to have the TC showing. Having a 96-mile-per-hour fastball is good for the Twins brand too. This guy is going to, I think, have increased stock value in coming years for the Twins. He has to stay on the big league roster. For those of you unaware of the Rule 5 restriction, 1 and 2. For the likes of Michael Tonkin, who seem to be forever sent back and forth, they can do that because they're not a Rule 5 pickup, because the Twins picked Graham off another major league roster or organization.
From the Braves.
From the Braves. Then the Twins have to keep him on their 25-man roster. So barring injury, he will have a role in the Twins bullpen. And I think the Twins have seen enough of him to be pleasantly pleased with projecting him down the road as a key guy of their bullpen. 1 and 2.
You know, sometimes they look at these young kids. Now, Graham's not a youngster. He's 25 years old. He signed by the Braves in 2011. Now, 2012, he was the Braves minor league pitcher of the year between single A and double A. He was 12-2 with a very good 2.8 ERA. Then he had some injuries, arm injuries in 2013 and 14. But I think when that Rule 5 came and his name was there, they remember 2012. They saw the potential of this right-hander. He picks up his 2nd straight strikeout. Mark Krause to swing under that slider. Good pitch right there.
Spend your summer at Target Field. Become a Twins season ticket holder with the new Pick 10 plan. You pick 10 games against the opponents you want to see defeated and save off the box office price. Enjoy sweet spot benefits exclusive to Twins season ticket holders, including 10% off game day food and merchandise here at Target Field. Learn more about the options visiting twinsbaseball.com/pick10 or call 612-33-TWINS. Goes with a walk and a single. Strike two.
Good slider. Yeah, Graham with that good fastball you mentioned, Dick, in the upper 90s. Hard slider, and then that split finger he'll set up. You'll see him right behind, right there, that little split finger he'll throw as a changeup. That's exactly where Suzuki wanted that pitch. He put the glove up right about his mask, and that pitch was up there, and Goes fouled it off. We have seen time to time that Graham comes in and overthrows a little bit, a little wild, but so far here in this outing, outstanding. Well, even that's 15 pitches, but 12 have been strikes.
And at 97, he's touched a level that no Twins pitcher has touched. Alex Meyer, I guess, hit at 97 a couple of times in his brief stay up here.
And it didn't hit the backstop.
1-2. Grounded foul.
Well, 16 pitches, 13 strikes. I think this young man is getting more and more confident out there.
One and two with 2 gone in the 5th. Slider down and in.
Graham signed by the Braves in 2011. Their number 4 pick out of Santa Clara University.
Two and two. And Goes, swings and misses at the slider. Graham strikes out the side in the 5th.
smack dab in the middle of the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle. 100 scratch-off tickets. We'll call it a wedding gift. Newlyweds from River Falls, Bob and Karen. What a great way to celebrate those nuptials. Outdoors, beautiful night, right down the line, and now you're getting circled by a Hall of Famer. What a thrill.
Yes, it is. It's wonderful.
Blind date, huh? That's how this thing worked out. It actually works.
Yes, it actually did work. And good luck, Bert. You've done a great job announcing, too.
Well, they approve of your announcing. They're getting circled, and they get a wedding gift from the Minnesota State Lottery, guys. 100 scratch-offs. That could be some big money, and boy, those weddings are not cheap, so it might come in handy.
Congratulations to them. I'll be seeing my plaque here at the end of the month, going to Cooperstown for the induction. Should be a lot of fun.
River Falls, of course, just across the border, north and east of Hastings, a little bit west of Martell, Wisconsin, south of Roberts. What's that like when you go there? I mean, that's only a handful of people get a chance to go to Cooperstown and see their plaque.
It's an honor, believe me. You walk in there and it's like you're walking into a church. You know, every time you walk into a church, you just feel at ease.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very, very lucky. I'm very fortunate. I actually looked at my plaque and I said, you know what? I've always had a face for a bronze plaque.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Actually, I thought I looked pretty good on that plaque. Best I've ever looked.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, at some point, I would imagine the Twins are going to come, go around to, get around to making a statue of you. And it'll be more than your face.
Ooh.
A lot more than your face.
That's scary.
2-1 to Eddie Rosario. Fouled away, 2-2.
I just wonder if they picked the right men's room to put it in.
I don't know what that means, but it's my cue to move the subject matter along. Rosario, Hicks, and Suzuki in the 5th inning.
Verlander with that 6-0 lead. 56 pitches, 32 strikes.
High fly to short center field. Lopes in. 1 down. Aaron Hicks will bat, and we will give you our carsoup.com trivia question. Which Tigers pitcher has the most all-time career wins against the Twins? You can go back to Lolich and McClain.
This guy right here has 15. But I think it's the left-hander.
Mr. Lolich?
How about Jack Morris?
Yeah. There's another pop-up to the short outfield, and Iglesias in left field makes the catch. 2 down. The only thing that would discourage me from saying Jack Morris is when he was with Detroit, the Tigers were in the other division. Now they're, we still played the American League East because we were in the West quite a bit of time. But it wasn't like it is now where you play 6 series against everybody. I think we had 4 series against the American League East back in those days. Here's Suzuki with 2 gone in the 5th. Strike on the outside corner. Remember one time, in fact, it was, I think, leading into the playoffs. I'll have a chance to ask Jack. He's going to be working in your spot after the All-Star break. But from my memory, which is hardly reliable at this point, but I think before the '87 playoffs, Jack was something like 9-0 in the Metrodome. And then there would have been game 2, I believe. You guys faced Doyle Alexander in game 1, right?
Yep.
Jack came back in game 2, and I think the Twins handed Jack his first Metrodome loss.
I was his mound.
Okay,
opponent.
all right.
Yep.
1-1 to Suzuki.
Kind of like Verlander here. He's never lost at Target Field. 5-0 in 7 starts. A lot of reasons why. I mean, this guy's a really good pitcher. That's one reason. An ERA at 2.47 here in the 7 starts. But also games like this that you get some early run support, get to settle down.
And his team's been pretty good since the time the Twins moved in here. And Suzuki takes another strike on the outside corner.
Boy, perfect pitch right there, down and away on the black. Kurt Suzuki shaking his head. Kurt got a base hit between third and short in the third inning. Led off the third inning with a base hit.
Outside 3-2. Santana would hit next. Of course, last year Suzuki went to the All-Star game. The Twins had 2 representatives. They'll have just 1 this year. Popped up. Verlander with 3 short pop-ups in a 1-2-3 5th inning.
Much for all the support that you've shown throughout this week, all of the the hashtag vote Dozers, the signs, the videos, and all the online voting. I cannot thank you guys enough. I also want to thank you for all the support that you guys have shown the first half of the season, and let's keep the momentum going, and we're all in this together. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much. Love you guys.
A lot of class right there from Brian Dozier.
And making a point of saying Mike Moustakas deserves to be in the All-Star game. 6-0 the score, and kind of hard to argue against Moustakas.
Yeah, hitting over 300. He kind of turned his career around, but I think one thing about all of this, even though Dozier's not going, foul ball right there off the bat of Iglesias, is that we got to know Brian Dozier a little bit more with all the attention and find out what kind of person he is. And this guy's a very, very good person. Not only on the field, great player, but also off the field.
You know, and just to extend that thought, you know, a lot of people a year ago at this time were talking about Derek Jeter leaving the game. Who was going to be the next face of baseball? And, well, it's going to be Mike Trout. Well, I never thought that there was one face of baseball to begin with, and I think the faces of baseball might include Mike Trout, might include Andrew McCutchen, might include others, but certainly now I think we all, as you said, have learned more about Brian Dozier. Rather proud that he's part of the face of baseball.
And he's part of the Twins organization. So.
Plouffe over to Mauer, 1 away.
Well, J.R. Graham, for the first time in his career, young career, struck out the side with 3 batters. J.D. Martinez, that was Castellanos striking out, Krause striking out, and then Rose striking out. So 4 up, 4 down for Graham out of the bullpen.
1 down in the 6th, and here's Ian Kinsler. drilled to right center field. Twins are having a hard time keeping Kinsler off the bases. He'll round first and head to second with a 1-out double.
Well, he's always been a notorious first ball hitter. I mean, if you're going to lay a pitch in like that, he's going to be ready to swing. And that was a slider, which Graham has done a good job of keeping down. This one, he just kind of spun this. And Kinsler, good solid swing. Gets into second base with 1 out on his 19th double. And his first hit of the ball game.
Here's Cespedes. Fly ball the first time up, then a single and a run scored. The big swing, a 3-run home run. Clubbing one into the bullpen area in left center field. Strike one. Was a key guy for the Oakland A's a year ago at this time.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a club take a dive after they made that trade with Boston. Oakland just went.
They had the best record in the major leagues.
Right.
And for some reason, the powers that be, or power that be, I guess it's just one guy there, decided to fix what wasn't broken. Lester and Samardzija acquired, and you can understand that part. They're both great pitchers.
Suzuki taking that off. It looked like his left leg. Cespedes fouling this ball off. And we'll see where this gets Kurt Suzuki, right on the left knee. And where those pads, ouch, still hurts.
Oh, 0-2 from Graham to Cespedes. And Cespedes waves at a breaking ball. Another strikeout for Graham.
That's strikeout number 4. Good pitch right there. Cespedes is a guy that will chase that pitch. Watch this hard breaking ball right here. It's a very good pitch by J.R. Graham.
And now Victor Martinez. Martinez got the scoring started by hooking a home run over the wall and right. Out in front of the slider. And we talk about Graham's velocity, 96, 97, but what we've seen recently, particularly in this appearance, a much improved breaking ball.
Very, very tight slider. See, he will not be shaking off Kurt Suzuki. 97 high, 83 low. So I'll move that ball around.
Tap foul.
That might be the changeup right there. That split finger.
He made what is called an emergency start and handled himself okay.
That here against the Brewers back on June 6th. Pitched 4 innings. Gave up only 1 run. Ryan Braun hit a solo home run off of him. Got a no decision.
And another one that might have winged Suzuki. Graham trying to finish off a second shutout inning at a point in the game where the Twins need that. They also need, obviously, to do some scoring. It's a tough enough task the way Verlander's throwing. Twins with just 2 hits. While the Tigers have 3 home runs. Down and away. last year, the Twins won the season series against the Tigers. And the way the Twins played against Detroit is one of the reasons Torrey Hunter says that he wanted to sign with the Twins. He saw some potential there. Here. Ground ball right side. Mauer backhands it. Graham to the bag. He pitches around a 1-out double, and it's a scoreless sixth. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by McDonald's. Have bold for breakfast with the new chorizo burrito from McDonald's. Time now for the road ahead, presented by Chrysler. Twins with 2 more games here against Detroit. Then a 4-day All-Star break. Travel day on Thursday. The Twins will head to the West Coast.
You know, Detroit's saying that Justin Verlander really wasn't Justin Verlander yet. I want to see the not yet. My goodness, he's been outstanding here tonight. 5 innings, 64 pitches in 5 innings, 36 strikes. Excuse me, 37 strikes.
Danny Santana leading off the 6th. I think it was in the 2nd inning I mentioned that in his prime, when guys would get on base in scoring position, we'd see the ability to reach back for something extra. And we saw that in the 3rd inning in the Dozier at bat. Twins had Santana at second base with 1 out, and Verlander went back and got 97 miles per hour on the black. And he struck out Dozier, and the Twins haven't gotten a hit since. So you can understand if, unless the Twins come back and win this game, Tigers feel pretty good about their chances when their rotation is fronted by a couple of former Cy Young Award winners. Santana pops it up. It'll be chased by Iglesias and Cespedes, and it is Cespedes who makes the catch in foul territory. 1 down in the 6th. You can now tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthDataStrongFan, and you might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Yeah, a lot of Twin batters getting underneath that high fastball. That's 9 fly ball outs here so far. 4 ground ball outs to go with the 3 strikeouts Verlander's been able to get.
Dozier with a liner to right, and a hauled 3rd strike in the 3rd inning. But then, as we mentioned, Price and Verlander fronting the rotation. Then the problem starts for the Tigers, because they have had a terrible time Anibal Sanchez has been very inconsistent, and they've had a terrible time filling out the 4th and 5th spots in the rotation. So even if the Twins lose the first 2 games of this series, you're going, well, they lost to Price and Verlander. The Twins 1 through 5 might be in better shape, not only than Detroit, but maybe even also Kansas City and Chicago. Cleveland's awfully tough 1 through 5, but just about everybody else in the division's had a hard time rounding out its rotation, and that's been the least of the Twins' concern.
Well, it would be a big plus for the Tigers if this guy stays healthy the rest of the year. Alfredo Simon pitching tomorrow. He's got 8 wins.
Dozier fouls it back 2-2. Tap foul. It just keeps you off balance. You have to respect 95, and then you don't know whether the next one's going to be 91, 81, or somewhere's in between. I guess that's called pitching, isn't it?
It's called pitching, and really, you can see right here off of Dozier, pretty much everything has been semi-off speed for Verlander.
And you know that 97 is there waiting if he wants it.
And he went back to the slider against Dozier, and he swung through it. So strikeout number 4, getting Dozier for the 2nd time. He stayed with breaking stuff to Brian Dozier, and that's kind of a slider spinner, almost like a little cutter. Just kind of spun right there. Brian a little out front.
Torrey Hunter's 0 for 2. A lot of guys are 0 for 2. Sano's 1 for 1. Suzuki's 1 for 2. That's it. Down and away, ball 1.
He really has 4 pitches that he can throw over at any time. We saw the fastball and to Dozier, a lot of the sliders. That first pitch to Torrey Hunter, the big curveball, then an outstanding changeup.
Left one up, and Hunter fouled it to the screen.
Yeah, when he won the MVP, the Cy Young Award in 2011, Verlander was 24-5 in 34 starts, 2.4 ERA, pitched 251 innings, allowed only 174 hits, and struck out 250. And it's very, very odd that a pitcher would win the MVP award.
1-1 to Hunter.
And he did it.
Popped up again. This one near the Twins dugout. Krause.
He doesn't
lost
see
it. He's about 50 feet from it.
Well, it's that twilight right now that even that ball that was down the left field line that Iglesias and Cespedes went after. And Cespedes, who got it right at the last second.
One and 2 to Hunter. Another pitch left up at 95, and Torrey spun it to the screen. If he gets the win here tonight, it will be the 153rd of his big league career. A little bit of a smirk between teammates. Verlander and Hunter, I think, enjoying the moments during this at bat here. And bounced foul.
Yeah, it'd be win number 153. Only 91 losses for Verlander. Again, making his 303rd start. 20 complete games, 6 shutouts in his career. Just over 2,000 innings pitched.
And another pop-up. We'll see if Krause sees this one. I can't see it. And it's out of play.
Oh, yeah, I think he saw that one because he went into the right spot where it went into the stands.
get in the dugout. Kinsel will probably tell him,
"Hey, you're on your own."
Well, he'll probably say, "You should have been in their old place, the Metrodome." You think you couldn't see a pop up here? 1-2. Hunter dueling his former teammate. And now 2-2. Verlander. That's 4 shakeoffs.
Yep.
And you can see the
I told you he has a lot of pitches.
You can see the frustration with Avila. He pounded his fist in his mitt.
Yeah, curveball, I believe.
And Hunter waves at it. It was in the dirt, and the long at bat finishes in a strikeout. You're watching the Tigers and Twins, presented by the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import. A lot of power.
Against Irvin Santana, he allowed 3 home runs. It was Victor Martinez with a 2-run home run. Then Cespedes with a 3-run home run, that coming in the 4th inning. And a couple batters later, J.D. Martinez with a solo home run. So a 6-0 lead given to Justin Verlander. And he has 6 shutout innings. He's retired 7 straight. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk.
In-game box score brought to you by Menards, and it's been heavily tilted in Detroit's favor. Strike 1 to J.D. Martinez.
J.R. Graham out for his 3rd inning of relief.
One and one. It'll be Martinez, Avila, and then Graham will start working through the Detroit lineup a second time. He'll face Castellanos. Fastball off the plate. When you project Graham down the road, do you project him as a reliever or a starter?
I think a reliever, only because he can control that. He's got a nasty slider. He comes in hard. I haven't seen that 3rd pitch yet, that change up, the off speed stuff. Everything's pretty much hard.
So swing and a miss slider.
He's a guy, I think the role that he's in right now, maybe one day being the 7th or 8th inning type guy, but right now kind of a long guy that can give you, when your starter doesn't last very long, like Santana, 4 innings. Give me 3, maybe 4 if you keep that pitch count down.
Punch down the right field line, a long run for Hunter, Mauer, Dozier. Neither one can get there.
Maybe even one day have an opportunity to close some ball games too. You never know.
3 o'clock tomorrow on Fox Sports 1, Game 3 of the series. And then at night, the Yankees and Red Sox will play on Fox. So that means you and I have tomorrow off. What are you going to be doing?
Well, I'm going to go try to hit that little white ball around again.
Playing ping pong?
Yeah, that little one. I played with Tim Laudner the other day. I felt like ping pong. He's fun to watch play. He's good.
Dribbler left side. Plouffe cuts it off, throws on the run. Bauer
got him
on one hop. It's a close play. We'll see whether the Tigers challenge that. Omar Vizquel is saying you ought to take a look at that, boys. Plouffe didn't get much on the throw. Mauer with a nice scoop.
I don't think he knew he had. I mean, he couldn't because of who was running and then where his angle was.
Might be challenged, and no, I don't know. Martinez landed in the middle of the bag. There's Kevin Rand, the trainer for the Tigers, who's getting the call from their video guy. Let's take another look. Yeah, I think he's out. Well, the heel.
The heel?
Yeah. I think he's safe. And they're going to take a look at it. He's safe right there, right before the ball hit the back of the glove. That's my call, and I am proud to say that I've been about 50% right. Having looked at every angle in super slow motion, I've been about 50% right on these. And you say, well, why challenge? The Tigers have this game in hand. You want to reward Martinez for busting it down the line.
Darn right you do.
Martinez hit a home run to the opposite field. Incredible power to all fields, and now perhaps an infield hit to go along with it.
Yeah, what a pickup he was or has been for the Tigers. Houston released him. Signed by the Tigers, spent about a month in the minor leagues, hit the heck out of the ball, came up last year. He's been hitting ever since.
Can you imagine the scandal that would be erupting now if Martinez, and they're going to call him safe, it'll be an infield hit, if Martinez had, instead of landing in Detroit, had landed with the Cardinals after the hacking scandal?
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
And if the Cardinals had somehow landed a player that's had the impact Martinez has had, and again, as soon as the heel touches the bag right there.
See, the ball was not in the back of Joe's glove.
So justice prevails.
The delay was 1:23 seconds.
Here's Avila, 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Here's strike one. Be interested by game's end to see how Graham has split his pitches between fastballs and sliders. It seems like it's been almost a 50-50 split. One and one.
That, I believe, was a split finger again. So I've seen 3 or 4 of those, which is good. The Twins rotate their infield a little bit. Trevor Plouffe moving over to short. Danny Santana more up the middle.
Swing and a miss. Two and two. Tigers with a pair in the third, 4 in the fourth, and all the runs tonight scoring on home runs.
Credit Graham, he's doing a good job. 41 pitches, 31 strikes. When he started against the Brewers, he worked the 4 innings. He threw 63 pitches.
Yeah, foul. Graham 42 pitches. Twins would like to see him get through the 7th. All-Star break coming up, but the Twins would like to keep the bullpen as fresh as possible, even if they lose tonight for Saturday's and Sunday's game. To center, a drive, and Hicks retreats a few steps to catch the line drive for the first out.
Yeah, Beal hit it sharply, but right at Aaron Hicks for the first out.
Join us July 25th for a DQ sensational Saturday as the Twins take on the Yankees. The first 10,000 fans get a Brian Dozier bobblehead presented by Fisher Nuts. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets and get your tickets today. Yankees beat the Red Sox 5-1. Cleveland beat Oakland 5-1. They've just gotten underway in Kansas City after a delay of more than 2 hours. Toronto and Kansas City scoreless in the first. Sharply hit on one hop, Santana to Dozier, and a double play. J.R. Graham with 3 scoreless innings in the middle of the game. The Tigers lead 6-0. Chrysler 200, America's import. Kevin Gorg, Bert Blylev, and Dick Bramer here. The Twins have had a very tough time against Justin Verlander, as they had a tough time last night against David Price. J.R. Graham, a silver lining here tonight with 3 scoreless innings.
Well, the Tigers have to be very happy at what they have seen out of Verlander here tonight. 6 innings, 82 pitches, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Only 2 singles allowed. He's retired to 7 straight Twin batters.
Bauer will lead off the 7th inning. He'll be followed by Sano and Plouffe. Strike on the outside corner. Fouled back. Now that was 90 miles per hour when we've seen him throw 95 and above.
Well, kind of like you said, Dick, you know, it'll be 90, then 92. There's not, you know, he's not just going to throw 95, 95, 95.
He used to.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons he struggled.
He had that 1 year of his 2nd or 3rd year that he really struggled, lost 17 ball games. That was in 2008. 11-17 at 33 starts. Other than that, I mean, this guy is always 200 innings, 8 straight seasons of 200. innings or more.
Outside 2-2. Ryan O'Rourke has had a couple of good outings warming up. He might succeed J.R. Graham. Pulled to the right side, backhanded by Krause. To Verlander, one away. And that'll bring up Sano.
That's the first ground ball out since the third inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Sano has had 2 good plate appearances, successful plate appearances against Verlander. Rolled a single through the left side of the infield leading off the second. And then worked a walk. Emphasize the word work because he battled and took some close pitches and ended up with a free pass. Outside ball 1. Figuring that Verlander is probably going to finish his career as a Tiger, and he's probably got many years left. These matchups will be important because Sano figures to be a big guy in the middle of the Twins lineup. And tonight they're just getting to know each other. 1-1.
Verlander signing a long contract, huge contract, signed through 2020.
1-2. Breaking ball got him. And I'm not sure we've seen that pitch, that particular pitch, that often, and he used it on Sano to get a called third strike.
Good hard breaking ball here. More of the tight curveball.
How many of those has he thrown tonight?
I think he struck out Torrey Hunter on it, but it was in the dirt, and that's a pitcher's pitch right there.
2 down, and that'll bring up Blue.
And strikeout number 6 for Verlander.
Blue for the strikeout in the second, and a ground ball double play. Swing and a miss. Hold foul.
He's hung Trevor a couple breaking balls, the one that he swung through, and then he hung him on another one that he hit into the double play. And right there, got a breaking ball and hung it, but Trevor fouled it off.
And Avila has to knock one down out of the dirt. So the next time you and I work, it'll be Sunday afternoon, and I believe that's the day of the futures game in Cincinnati. Bad news today, disappointing news. Max Kepler of the Twins in their Double-A team, Chattanooga, having a great year, hitting .330, but he's got a bad shoulder, so he's been scratched from the ball game. Lazy fly to left, and Cespedes camps under it. And another 1, 2, 3 inning for Verlander.
Studio Sports Update. Let's go back in time to take a look at a memorable Twins All-Star moment in 2002 at Miller Park in Milwaukee. Torrey Hunter, in his first All-Star game appearance, showed off his Gold Glove, robbing Barry Bonds of a home run, going up and over the fence to rob the home run king.
That was classic. That was classic.
Yeah, brought my family to that All-Star game, too. That was just a tremendous moment. What I'll remember about that game, too, that was the game, All-Star game, first All-Star game after the winter of contraction threats. There's Ryan O'Rourke finishing his warm-up tosses. He'll pitch next. And they had the roof closed and the windows up at Miller Park. And right over where Torrey Hunter made that catch, there was a Twins fan. You and I both know him. And he stood outside, didn't have a ticket to the game, but he was still upset about.
That was Waldo.
Still upset about the threat over the winter. And the entire game, he stood beyond the glass, waving a Twins flag, a huge Twins flag, back and forth. And it was noticeable by certainly the TV audience and most of the people at Miller Park. And I remember that as vividly as I remember the catch itself, because of where we were on that day in Milwaukee and where we were 6 months earlier.
And the same guy back in the 80s was when we came home from Detroit. He was along over by Signature, across on the other side of the fence with that big flag flying it back and forth. And actually, my wife Gail and I, we kind of nicknamed him Waldo because we saw him all over the place. He's a big Twins fan.
Krause facing O'Rourke. 2 strikes. O'Rourke getting the call to help out the left side of the bullpen. Aaron Thompson sent down.
He got a couple outs in last night's ball game. 8 pitches, 5 for strikes, and I think all 8 of them were sliders.
Rolled up the line, foul. Krause goes and Iglesias here in the 8th.
Nice job by J.R. Graham. 3 shutout innings. Now hopefully Ryan O'Rourke can have a clean top of the 8th here. 27 years old. Started the season down in Double-A Chattanooga. Promoted in early April to Rochester. 25 strikeouts in 15 innings in the minor leagues.
Swing and a miss, and Krause strikes out.
He picks up his 2nd major league strikeout.
That'll bring up Goes. O'Rourke, of course, would like to have a good outing. You can see a
good fastball there.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
Yeah, he came in and made his major league debut here on Tuesday against the Orioles. Pitched the 9th inning and struck out pinch hitter Steve Pearce for his first major league hitter that he faced. Nice way to start.
Big swing and a miss. O'Rourke would like to have a good 8th inning, and if possible a quick 8th inning, maybe opening up the possibility that he would be brought back to pitch the 9th. Don't know what the strategy would be, having him having pitched last night. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
2 good breaking balls.
He seems to have the same thing Caleb Thielbar, I won't say has a little deception in his delivery.
He does a good job of keeping that right shoulder in. And then here comes the ball. So 3 straight breaking balls, picks up his 2nd strikeout. Caleb Thielbar does the same thing. Just he hides the ball well.
So O'Rourke spins another breaking ball, gets another strikeout, a couple of quick ones here in the 8th, and now Iglesias. Fastball on the outside, well, a slider, I guess, 84 miles per hour on the outside corner.
Might have been the changeup right there.
Okay.
Good crowd tonight, 31,545.
Chop to the right side.
Nice
have
inning.
A quicker inning than O'Rourke has had here in the 8th. We'll see if he gets an opportunity to pitch the 9th, having struck out 2 men in his first inning.
Game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll show you how the Tigers used the long ball tonight to build this big 6-run lead. And the rumors of Justin Verlander's demise are greatly exaggerated. He is back in form tonight. Holy cow, we'll break that down as well. We'll take you inside the Twins clubhouse and hear from Paul Mauter as the manager tries to give us some answers here. The Twins are in danger of falling to 2-9 against the Tigers this season, as we still have 2 more big games this weekend in the series. Hopefully the Twins can build something here in the last couple innings, guys, of momentum to get back in the win column tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. Yeah, the Twins have had a tough time scoring runs in this month of July, even though, you know, they've, what are they, 5-4 month of July?
Haven't been many games like this, though, where the other team has broken out to a big early lead. So far, at least, coasted. Rosario 0 for 2, a couple of outfield flies. Tapped up the right side. Rosario hustling up the line, and Verlander can't pick up the ball. Rosario retreats to the bag, and there's an infield hit.
Yeah, where Verlander tried to pick up the ball and tag Rosario, who was hustling down that line, and ball got away from him. So the first hit for the Twins since the leadoff single by Suzuki in the 3rd inning. Tried to pick it up with his glove and tag Rosario, but the ball fell out of his glove.
It would have been interesting if he had held onto the ball and Rosario had avoided the tag. Rosario could have been called out for running out of the baseline there. And now Hicks has put the ball in play twice, but made 2 outs against Verlander. Over the inside corner, strike 1.
Verlander making his 5th start. In his 2nd start, came in New York. He threw 117 pitches in 6 2/3 innings, gave him 6 runs.
Missing the outside corner, 1-1. Last year, the Twins won the season series 10-9 against the Tigers. Twins will be done with Detroit after Sunday's game till the middle of September. Hicks takes up high, 2-1.
That was pitch number 100 for Verlander. 18 pitches, the most he needed. That was in the 6th inning.
It was still a 1-2-3 inning.
He had a couple strikeouts of Dozier and Hunter in the 6th.
Swing and a strike.
We saw David Price last night doing a good job of changing speeds, and this an off-speed pitch. And Aaron's bat went a little bit too far. Mike Winters, the 3rd base umpire, said he went too far.
Now 3-2. Suzuki on deck. Twins have 9 hits in this series. They've all been singles. Fouled back. trying to get something started here in the 8th inning. They've got a leadoff single, but they've had 2 others and not done anything in terms of producing runs.
Some action in the pen.
There's Rondon getting loose with Verlander climbing over the 100 pitch level. And Hicks checks and fouls. Have a leadoff single from Sano. That was about an 8-hopper through the left side of the infield. Leading off the second, then Suzuki hit a sharp grounder through the hole on the left side, leading off the third, and now Rosario's infield hit. And another foul. White Sox have won. The Indians have won. Kansas City scoreless in the second. About it last night. Instead of there being separation, it almost seems like things are getting more condensed in the American League schedule, with the American League East compacted 5.5 games coming into play today. 5.5 games separating first from fifth. Well, the White Sox playing good baseball. The Indians playing better baseball. Towering pop up to the right side. Kinsler will wait a long time for the catch.
That's the pitch right there. The Twins have been unable to get a level on their bat. That high fastball. A lot of pop-ups here. Take a look at this pitch. That high fastball just getting underneath it, creating that pop-up.
And the frustration for Hicks is he knows by now that's ball 4 and he would have taken a walk. Carsoup.com trivia question. Yeah, I'll go with Jack Morris for sentimental reasons.
I'll go with Mickey Lolich. It is Jack Morris.
I got to work with him on the next road trip, so I'd better pick Jack Morris. Jack also does some television work for the Detroit TV network, but he'll be working on the Minnesota side when we go to the West Coast. Ball 1. And you'll be in Cooperstown and other such vacation type places.
Yeah, doing 100 games. I'm going to have some time off. Looking forward to, like I said, going to Cooperstown, watching the inductions.
And Suzuki lines a sharp single to left. His second hit against Verlander. Rosario will hold up. We'll see how the Tigers play this now. The number 9 batter Santana's due up. But then a power threat in Dozier.
Yeah, he hasn't made too many mistakes down. The Suzuki did right there, a fastball down. But all in all, Verlander, they said he's been struggling a little bit, which his ERA shows 6.75 coming into the ball game in 4 starts, had not won yet. But don't tell that to the Twins batters here tonight. 6 strikeouts for Verlander, only 1 walk. He just gave up his 4th hit, all singles.
Now Santana reaching a fielder's choice, fouled out to left. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, you got to be ready to hit that fastball. And now Verlander ahead in the count. This is when he'll go to work on Santana. That fastball looked like it was hittable.
Chop to second. And Kinsler fires to first. 2 away and 2 men in scoring position for Dozier. And we'll see if the Tigers make a move with the bullpen.
Yeah, that pitch not, I mean, that ball hit not hard enough to maybe for Kinsler to go to second base to get Suzuki. So he gets the sure out in a 6-0 ball game. Now there's 2 outs.
And they will let it ride with Verlander.
They want him to be the horse that he's always been.
Dozier with a line out to right at his first at bat, and then a couple of strikeouts. Guess it's a little bit odd. The guys who have struck out against Verlander are the guys who've seen him the most. You know, Sano struck out looking, but other than that, it's Dozier twice, Hunter twice, Plouffe once. One strike to Dozier. And now 2 strikes.
2 fastballs at 92. Struck out Dozier last time on a breaking ball down and away.
Breaking ball, and Dozier got one he could handle, but spun it back.
Yeah, I think tonight Verlander's slider has been better than that last curveball. The curveballs he's left some up, but got away with some.
Pitch number 114. Popped up, back into the seats again. Oh, 0-2 to Dozier with 2 men in scoring position. First time today the Twins have gotten a runner to third base. Inside.
94-mile-an-hour fastball the last 2 pitches. So the arm strength is still there for Verlander.
Now 1-2 to the Twins second baseman. And he pokes it to right, a base hit. Rosario scores. Suzuki will be held, and the Twins are on the board.
Well, an excuse me type swing gets the Twins on the board. And Dozier picks up a hit, driving in his 46th run. And the slider there, Ryan just stuck that bat out there and kind of just pushed it toward right field.
It's about the same pitch he struck out on in the 6th inning.
Yep.
100 in play. Great effort by Verlander, taking a shutout into the 8th. The Twins have one in. A quick trip to the mound by Brad Ausmus. And the Twins will get into the Tiger bullpen with 2 outs in the 8th. Coming up on August 29th, special offer including a Skyline deck ticket and a Dozier Blaze Orange t-shirt. Portion of the proceeds from every ticket sold will benefit Pheasants Forever. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com/DoziersDeck. Get your tickets today.
Hard throwing Bruce Rondon coming into the ball game, making just his 8th relief appearance. Had the Tommy John surgery last year.
And Hunter on the first pitch hits it a mile in the air. And that ends the inning. The Twins get 3 singles and a run at 6-1. Tough night for the Twins. Tough night for Irvin Santana. He left early. It's 6-1 as we go to the 9th.
Yeah, not the outing that Santana was hoping for in his second start with the Twins. Gave up 3 home runs, 6 runs that the Tigers have been able to put on the board. Trevor May coming in for the 9th inning. He's making his 2nd relief appearance since being put into the bullpen. And he's probably thinking, you know, his last outing came on Monday against Baltimore. He pitched 1 shutout inning. Twins came back, won the ball game 4-2, and he got the win. You know, sometimes as a starter, you go out there 7, 8, 9 innings, you don't get a win. He pitches 1 inning out of the bullpen after 15 starts. Boom, get a W.
So he's counting on at least 5 Twins runs at the bottom of the 9th inning. Kinsler will lead things off on the top.
You'd rather have 6 and get the win. Well, Trevor May, of course, very good fastball, good changeup, hard breaking ball.
Down low 2-1. Got fireworks here after the game. Hit hard to left center. Hicks chasing it. And Hicks will play it off the carom, and Kinsler has another late inning double. A leadoff double in the 9th. It was his 8th inning double last night that was the backbreaker.
Yeah, home run to start off the ball game last night on the 2nd pitch, and then the 8th inning RBI double, and then a double in the 6th inning here tonight. And here he starts the top of the 9th with another double. Like a changeup right here. Kinsler hitting it to left center. Aaron Hicks, tremendous speed, but he cannot catch up to it. One hops to base of the fence out there.
Now Cespedes. Now he shoots one to right field, and Hunter will play it on a hop. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. May have a tough time quickly here in the 9th. you have years like this, I guess, where you just have a tough time against one team in particular. And it sure looks like that team is Detroit for the Twins. They had a game 1 here in the earlier Detroit series here, and then the Tigers came back in the late innings and took one away from the Twins, won that series 2-1. And through it all, they've out-homered the Twins 18-3. Now it's hard to overcome that.
Yep.
And this is game 1, number what, 12?
This is then game number 11.
Number 11, and they've given up 18 home runs to the Tigers and hit just 3 of their own. Martinez swings and fouls. It was Martinez's home run in the 3rd that started the scoring for Detroit. Popped up. Dozier backpedaling. 1 down, and Martinez retired. And that'll bring up J.D. Martinez.
Saw Trevor May right there pointing, I believe, at Santana, that in case the ball's hit back to me, who do I give it to? Always make sure you check with your middle infielder. Possible double play ball hit back at you. Who's covering the bag?
Fouled away. You know, we both love what we do. We'd rather do this than anything else, right? We broadcast Twins games. But I do want to mention that tonight I'm missing out on something else that would have been fun. The Dumont, Minnesota, my hometown, celebrating its 130th birthday this weekend. Another pop-up.
Staney right there. Who's going to take it? Suzuki.
And motion in fair territory. At any rate, the catch made. 2 down. And tonight they're having a street dance on Main Street in Dumont. And
I went through Dumont now. It had that sign of population 100.
That's right. So I'm missing the street dance there. Let's watch Suzuki's route to this pop-up. And Adam Hamari calling the batter out before Suzuki actually made the catch for interfering with Suzuki. So 2 down, 1st and 3rd, and Avila will bat. And tomorrow in Dumont, they're going to have a softball game on the old town team field.
Do they have enough people for a softball team?
So it's going to be the Dumont women against the Dumont men tomorrow, and then the town.
I'm betting on the women. Those guys do want to eat, don't they?
Right? Yes. Yeah. And then the town team's playing a game, but they can't play in the baseball field in Dumont anymore because they had to put up a levee in left field to keep the creek from flooding. So they're going to play that game in Wheaton. So all that activity,
you're missing
and I'm missing it. I'd love to be there. I was there for the 100th anniversary back in 1985.
I bet there's corn on the cob.
Probably is. Oh. It's a potluck dinner tomorrow at noon in case you want to run over there. Another pop-up. Looks like May's going to pitch out of this in the 9th.
Somebody, yep.
Plouffe in fair territory. Double, the single, the 3 pop-ups. No damage done in the 9th. next, brought to you by Century Link. Fredo Simon going for the Tigers tomorrow against Phil Hughes, a mid-afternoon start. And as you can see, it'll be on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow. And you'll be off playing golf, and I might wander over to Dumont because they've got the potluck dinner tomorrow.
Yeah. I think you should. Tomorrow, Phil Hughes, he's been pitching very good.
Yes, he has.
Hopefully he'll turn this thing around and get a win against the Tigers.
Joe Mauer will lead things off against Rondon. And Sano and Plouffe hope to get something started here.
Rondon, a guy I mentioned when he came in, had the Tommy John surgery. I think the Tigers are hoping one day, this guy might be the closer. Saved a lot of ball games in the minor leagues for him.
If he can throw strikes, that might still happen.
Yeah, they have Soria right now. Soria has done a very good job.
But you said someday.
Someday.
Yeah. There's a thought that the Tigers this month will take steps toward improving their bullpen, and that wouldn't necessarily eliminate getting another closer. Soria is good. He's been very good in his career, but where the Tigers have been hurt is the original game plan. Having Nathan close, Soria set him up, and when Nathan went down, they moved Soria to the end, and that's fine. He can handle that, but it's the 7th and 8th innings that have gotten away from the Tigers too many times. So if they acquired, let's say, Jonathan Papelbon, somebody like that, then they could move Soria back. Tap foul, but there are people in Detroit far more qualified, being paid a lot more money than I am to make those decisions. No problem.
Very well put.
No problem at the front of the rotation with David Price last night, now backed up by Verlander tonight. This is a Detroit team to be reckoned with. 1-2 to Mauer. Back up the middle, and it might bleed through. Mauer will reach with a single to lead off the ninth. It's the 4th leadoff single for the Twins, and they now have 11 hits in the series, and every last one of them has been a single.
Well, high chopper right back at Rondon, and his momentum carries him over to the first base line. So that ball hit behind him and then up the middle. So Joe picking up his first hit. So no, 1 for 2 with a walk.
Inside, ball 1 at 97 miles per hour. You wonder, and of course it'll happen many times in his career, at least we hope it will, what Sano might do to a baseball coming at him at 97 miles per hour if he hits it flush. He tried 95. He spun on one and fouled it to the screen.
Eleven hits in 28 at bats for Sano. Playing in his 9th game for the Twins.
Breaking ball. Off-speed pitch of some sort, missing high 2-1.
Yeah, basically fastball, slider, changeup for Rendon. Just 24 years old, from Venezuela. Signed as a youngster by the Tigers back in 2007.
To the left field corner. Down for a hit. Hit the railing. It'll be a ground rule double for Sano. Second and third, nobody out.
Yeah, Rondon came with another slider and is kind of a hanger. And the ball bouncing out. That has to keep Joe Mauer at third base.
a little delay here in the Twins dugout. Not sure what they're trying to potentially challenge here. Paul Molitor looking to his right, and now he's sending Plouffe to the batter's box.
Well, it looked like it bounced up high and then right off that fencing on the other side of the plants for a ground rule double.
I think the brief delay was checking to make sure that the ball didn't hit off the top of the wall, in which case Paul would have challenged that maybe Mauer would have scored on a double. Here's Plouffe, second and third, nobody out. Down and in, ball one.
Well, you can't pitch yourself into a safe situation, but you can pitch Soria into a safe situation. Soria warming up in the bullpen as we speak.
Checked his swing, but he may have gone through the hitting zone, and it's a strike. Plouffe tried to check, but the bat barrel crossed the front of the plate. It's a strike.
Yeah, watch his upper chest right here. Yep. Went too far.
One and one. Tapped up the line, foul. The Twins, at the very least, have gotten the Tiger closer warmed up. One more base runner reaches here. It'll create a save situation for the next guy. Plouffe checks successfully, 2-2. See, these are the outings that must perplex Brad Ausmus, Dave Dombrowski. It's a 5-run lead. Rendon did a nice job getting Hunter out in one pitch in the 8th inning, but now immediate trouble in the 9th, and the last thing they wanted to do was to warm up Soria. Got a 5-run lead.
Well, Joe Mauer with the base hit over the middle, then the Sano's double down the left field line. One thing you don't see from Rondon is you see the good fastball, but really pretty straight. And then the slider. It's an okay slider.
Already comparisons made between Rondon and Joel Zamaya a few years ago. Inside, and it's 3-2.
See, he tried that slider right there, and it just spun down and in. Well, you got to look at fastball right here. Hopefully Trevor can catch up to it. His 11th home run.
Breaking ball got him.
That would have got me too. I was looking fastball.
One down, and now Rosario.
Well, 3-2. This is the last thing Trevor's looking for is that slider. Maybe swung at ball 4. Yeah, he did.
Rosario got an infield hit and scored his last time. Ball 1. Rosario with a fly to right, a fly to center, and a chopper up the line. Verlander didn't field it cleanly, and Rosario got an infield hit. Later scored on Dozier's single to right. Rosario Flips one foul.
Boy, that fastball comes out of his hand easy, doesn't it? 95. A big guy, 6'3", about 275 is what they have him listed at. Just to that balance point with, without a runner at first, he can kind of go get that balance point and then use that weight toward home plate. A little bit of a turn with his upper torso.
Up and away, 2-1. $18 pitches, 10 strikes. And the same thing applies here in this at bat.
Well,
Rosario reaches, then it's a save situation.
Yep. You know what? There's a game tomorrow. You want to pick momentum up. Get some good at bats here. There you go.
Hit to left. And Rondon's just pitched himself, I think, out of the ball game. 3 hits in the inning. It's 6-2, the tying run in the on deck circle. And now here comes Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, high fastball right there. Rosario picks up his second hit, driving in his 21st run. So both runners had to kind of hold their position because Castellanos playing third base. He leaped for it right there, got by him. Joe Mauer scores. Sano moves over to third.
Tigers saw Justin Verlander take a step forward. They saw Bruce Rondon take a step back. Twins are threatening in the ninth. And Joakim Soria will enter in a save situation. A bigger comeback here in the ninth. They've gotten the Detroit closer into the ball game, Joakim Soria.
Yeah, Soria picked up his 20th save in last night's victory over the Twins as the Tigers beat the Twins 4-2. 20 saves and 22 save opportunities. Very good earned run average. Soria has allowed just 27 hits in the 34 2/3 innings. Allowed 7 home runs.
Faced Hicks last night and got him to bounce out to short. Strike one over the inside corner. The old bloop and a blast. Twins need a hit and a home run and the game's tied. Rosario to second, and they throw through, and Rosario's out at second base. That almost certainly will be challenged given where we are in the game.
Boy, that situation, you have to make sure you could almost walk to second base. Rosario, quick tag.
He's safe.
Yep.
They'll challenge it and win. Yeah, given the situation, I don't know that Rosario didn't do that on his own. I can't imagine that they would give him the steal sign down by 4 runs.
Right.
So the call will we're going to go out on a limb, almost certainly be overturned.
Hey, you got a 50-50 chance.
That's right. You got a coin? Mike Winters, the crew chief. Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire. They'll play it here on the video board, and I think there'll be a roar of approval. Or
yeah, I do have a coin.
Do you? All right. I'm going to call heads.
All right.
That the call will be overturned.
All right, here we go. We got to get it on. Going to come up.
Well, let me see the coin first of all. I want to make sure it's got a heads.
It's a whole quarter.
And a tails. Heads and tails. All right.
All right. Toss it up.
Well, nice job.
Where'd it go? Well, here it is. I got to do it again.
All right.
Are we ready?
Yep. Heads. It'll be overturned. Uh-oh, it's not going to be overturned. And well, this is, he actually has a quarter in his pocket.
Yeah, I did.
Let's see.
No, I don't. You have it.
1963.
Is that a keeper? What's it worth? About 25 cents?
25 cents I'll give you for it right now.
And safe. Very good. Whew. Yeah, you don't want to get thrown out there with the Twins down. So Rosario gets a stolen base, his 7th.
So, second and third, 1 out. 2 strikes, though, to the batter, and the Twins are running out of outs. As we work, hopefully, all the way through the bottom of the order, the Twins have a bench of Shane Robinson, Eduardo Nunez, Eric Fryer, and Eduardo Escobar. Oh, 0-2. Off the plate. That the super slow. That one backed up to 69 miles per hour. That super slow breaking ball.
Soria with 198 career saves, most of them coming with the Kansas City Royals.
In the inning, Mauer singled, Sano doubled, Rosario singled, stole a base. Hicks trying to drive in a couple with a hit to the outfield.
And Avila going out to talk to Soria about this pitch selection.
We're talking about maybe even more than one pitch, right? It's a 1-2 count.
Right. Yeah, when catchers came out to me, we only had 1 pitch because I'd forget what they told me on the second.
Smothered by Avila. 2-2.
Soria, 31 years old, from Mexico, originally signed by the Padres, came up with the Royals in 2007. He's had a couple Tommy John surgeries, the first one back in 2003. Another one in 2012. That's what Joe Nathan is hoping to come back from. Said he's not done after his second Tommy John.
3-2. Suzuki on deck. We mentioned this last night. Soria, 34 2/3 innings. He's given up 7 home runs. Low opponent batting average of just .211, but 7 long balls and 7 walks. Full count to Aaron Hicks. And a foul back.
Good swing by Aaron.
Hit the ball in the air 3 times, once to center, once to short, once to second. They give you 27 outs, and the Twins trying to battle hard through all 27 here. Another 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. And Suzuki comes to the plate as the tying run. One heck of a walk by Aaron Hicks. Suzuki with 2 singles against Justin Verlander tonight. Suzuki's last home run coming June 20th against the Cubs.
Yeah, that against John Lester.
Fouled back. Almost went into Dave Dombrowski's booth, general manager of the Tigers.
4 for 12 against Soria for Kurt Suzuki.
One strike to Suzuki. 2 strikes.
2 fastballs from Soria.
Long look in. Soria very deliberate between pitches. And now up high. Again, a lot of time, and Suzuki got tired of waiting.
Vila going through a lot of different signs. Of course, a runner at second, so there'll be more than one put down. There's an indicator in there somewhere. And Soria is going to want to talk to Avila again.
Trying to get somebody's attention. Third base runner Miguel Sano. He's trying to complete an improbable comeback with the bottom of the order. Sano, Rosario, and Hicks on the bases, and that hits Suzuki. And a run walks in from third base. It's 6-3.
That's very, very smart by Kurt Suzuki. That was a big, slow curveball that he just kind of put his left shoulder in. Let's do a little pitch by pitch. Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, coming out. The fastball fouled back. Another fastball fouled back again. And then the high fastball. And then they had the conversation, the big, slow curveball. Suzuki sticking out that left arm and getting an RBI.
Shane Robinson in the game. He'll run for Suzuki, and with 2 strikes, Suzuki found a way to get on base. Santana at the plate, 0 for 3. And with Robinson's speed, a double could tie the game. 6 men have come to the plate here in the ninth. 1 man has been retired. Santana takes in the dirt, ball 1. Soria hasn't exactly shut the door here. He walked Hicks and hit Suzuki. Back foul down the left field line.
Always talk about speeding up the game. You're going to have better defense behind you too. I'm kind of watching the Tigers defense. They're kind of just all walking around, just trying to, keep themselves back into focus, because Soria take a lot of time between pitches.
One and one. Up the middle, a base hit. Rosario scores. Hicks right behind him, and it's 6-5. Tying run at second with 1 away.
Danny Santana driving in a couple runs, just dropping a barrel, the bat right up the middle. Pitch down. Watch out, Joaquin Soria. Into center field. Rosario and Hicks score. And Robinson, the speedy Robinson, stays at second base.
Just about everybody left here at Target Field is standing. Brian Dozier, the batter, singled in a run his last time out. And a throw to Kinsler, who was in the vicinity of second base. Robinson, the pinch runner at second, the tying run. A drive to left field. Are you kidding me?
Wow. What a comeback by the Twins. You didn't make the All-Star team, but you just helped beat the Detroit Tigers.
The most electric moment at Target Field in years.
I got goosebumps. Unbelievable comeback. Down by 5 runs. Good for Brian Dozier. Great comeback for the Twins.
I'm flabbergasted. The most improbable comeback I've seen in years. Through the bottom of the order. And as you said, Dozier snubbed this afternoon. He won't be going to the All-Star game, but he has just hit the biggest home run of his life.
Home run number 19 for Brian Dozier, and it's the one he will remember for a long, long time. And Brian saying, please, please, oh, I got it, I got it. He looked in, I got it.
Second walk-off home run for Dozier in this homestand. And it was a no-doubter.
And this crowd of 31,000 plus still on their feet.
The only comparable at bat years ago, Jim Thome did this to the White Sox. But the Twins down by 5 runs in the 9th inning. Kevin Gorg is with Brian Dozier.
I tell you what, folks. I've been around a long time. I'm an old man. I'm 48 years old.
You ain't that old.
I've never seen something like this. Take us through your emotions in the dugout. Down 6-1, having a hard time getting anything going all night long. How'd you keep believing, and how did this happen?
Well, that's the good thing about this team. We never feel like you're out of the baseball game, and even down 6-1, whatever it is, we've always feel like we're still in it, and rally together, a couple of big hits and runners in score position. We'll take a win. We needed that.
You did it against their closer. He's got nasty stuff. You're watching this inning kind of snowball down the hill. We went from snowball to ice in a quick hurry. I should have given you the heads up. My bad, partner. My bad. I stayed dry, as you can see. I'm a veteran, like I mentioned earlier. But let's talk about this as you're watching this develop. What are you seeing from him, and what are you looking for when you get in that batter's box, and how did that happen?
Well, yeah, obviously Soria, one of the better closers in the game, likes to get ahead, whether it's a fastball or a dump me over slider. You guys getting something over the plate. With runners in score position, you got to be aggressive, and he kind of spun a little slider up there, left it right down the middle. Thought I put an all right swing on it, and so we got to win.
Brian, you're having an unbelievable year, and there was some disappointment today that the vote Dozier bit fell a little bit short. But on this homestand, something you had never done before, 2 walk-off home runs. What do you feel like when you do something like that?
Well, if we're on the winning side of it, it's always good. We're here to win baseball games. We're playing good baseball right now. Obviously, we got a break coming up. 2 big games against Detroit tomorrow and Sunday. Let's keep the momentum going. So.
The other thing that it really matters in a situation like this is Detroit's had your number so far this year. They're one of the favorites to win not only the division but the American League. And these fans are starting to believe, your team has certainly believed throughout this first half psychologically. What can a win like this do for your team in that second half?
Well, like I said, we're playing good baseball right now, so that's the big thing. And, obviously we got the break coming up, whatever it is, but it's 2 big games coming against the Detroit. The only thing we're worried about is trying to figure out how to beat them tomorrow night. And whatever happens, but I feel like we're right where we need to be and come back from the break, right in contention. And that's always fun. It's going to be a fun second half.
You're making memories on this homestand. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, Kev. Appreciate it.
Brian Dozier, guys, it ain't over until it's over. Wow.
There's something special happening here at Target Field. The crowd is roaring. The atmosphere electric as the Twins score 7 in the 9th to beat the Tigers. 8-6 the final. We'll show you how they did it. We'll put the caps on what has been an unbelievable week for Brian Dozier. We'll hear from Paul Molitor and preview the rest of the series. All next on Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink.